GarageBand Weekly, GarageBand Weekly, GarageBand Weekly. Ooh. Need an answer to your question? John, you'll have a suggestion. He's a fountain of all knowledge. I think he might have gone to GarageBand College. What he doesn't know, we'll try and find out. So join the chat and give him a shout. Hey, John. Hey, John. GarageBand Weekly.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, welcome to GarageBand Weekly for yet another week here on Studio Live. Today, my name is Pete Johnson. For the next, who knows, these shows are getting longer again. But that's because we've got so much to talk about. There's actually stuff going on in the world of Apple. So we're here to tell you all about it, about Apple, about home recording, about creating, about GarageBand, about Logic Pro, and everything in between. So settle in, strap yourself in, and get ready for a roller coaster ride. If you're watching on the replay, you've got the advantage of jumping around. If there's a topic that interests you in particular, check them out down in the description. Jump to the timestamp, and if you want to just get to the bit where I'm recording some folk music, you can go ahead and do that. If you're here live, I'm very sorry, but you're going to have to hang out with me and listen to the news and notes, as well as answer any questions that you may have. If you do have a question, you know what to do. And if you don't, if you're new around here, hey, let's not assume. All you need to do is put a Q in front of your comment, and then I will tag it as a question, and we will answer those questions as we go through the show. If you want to do me a solid, you can do a couple of things. You can jump over to studiolivetoday.com/GarageBand. That's where you'll find all of the information I know. Everything I know about GarageBand is there, and then some. I don't know how there's more than I know. So you can check that one out. And if you'd like to hit the thumbs up button, that would also really do me a solid. So thank you for being here. We'll say good day to the folks who are here live in just a jiffy. A quick reminder too, it was Sylvie, in fact, I'm sure she won't mind me letting you know. Sylvie asked, how do you keep up with all the time changes, with all the things going on, with all the different videos and all the different things going on in the world of Studio Live today? Well, I've made it really simple for you. We've got a newsletter. Yeah, a lot of folks don't actually know that I do a weekly newsletter. It's only one email a week. And if you go to studiolivetoday.com/email, that's the place to go. studiolivetoday.com/email. And as you can see there, I don't want your mother's maiden name. I don't even want your name. Very early on, I decided that I hated mailing lists where they got all your information and then they tried to sell you stuff. So my mailing list is once a week. It tells you what videos happened in the last week, and it tells you what live streams are coming up on the show. It's as simple as that. And a few links and interesting, important things are in there as well. So join the mailing list if you want to know what's going on. All right, let's say good day to the folks who are here live. Who were the early birds catching the worms? Well, it was Eric B. It was Dave Bops. Hello to you. And yes, it was indeed. Hello, Thomas Christ, our wonderful moderator who showed the heckler the door. You know what? If you come in here and you can come along to your music live, and I don't even care. And the artist won't care if you say, hey, that's not my cup of tea. Or, just say nothing. It's okay to not have an opinion, or if you do, to not share it. But yeah, if you come along to our shows and you start heckling people and you start saying that people suck and that people are no good, you will get shown the door by Mr. Thomas Christ. It is not a democracy. It's a petocracy. Hello, it's a TCocracy. Hello, Leela. Hello, Mark. Bro, g'day, Al Davis Music. Hope you are doing well. Alexander Dean Francis, thanks for coming along yesterday to the Your Music Live and for your wonderful donation. Appreciate you big time. And Sylvie is here. Sylvie Drapeau, bonsoir. Hope you are doing well. Joe Glenn is here. Barry's probably around the place somewhere. Jade's lurking and kirkin. Hope you are well. I missed Jade's entire show. I just registered. I have YouTube notifications. Yeah, and that's the thing. The reason I do the email is the YouTube notifications are fine, except when they're not. So if you've used YouTube, you'll know this already. But yeah, YouTube notifications will notify you sometimes if you're logged in and you're on the right device and you've got the right notification settings. And sometimes you have to set it on the device level as well as on YouTube. It's not that reliable. And sometimes it just chooses not to send you a notification, and there's virtually no explanation for it. So that's why I do the mailing list. So every week I just add the 4 live stream links so you can catch all these live shows as well as anything else, any major news that's going on in the world of Studio Live today, such as the big 300th episode of Your Music Live that's coming up in just under 2 weeks' time, which will be massive. So I hope you can join me for that one. And of course, next week's show, $2.99. Sometimes the penultimate shows can actually be pretty cool. We'll dive into the news and notes in just a jiffy. I had to make a coffee. Again, I was 1 minute late to yesterday's show, and I was 1 minute late again to today's show. Because you do not want uncaffeinated. Decaffeinated Johns is no bueno. need to have the caffeine going on. All right, let's talk news and notes. A cool new feature that is coming to iPadOS 26.4. I almost said iPadOS 19.4 because that's what it should be. I don't know why we jumped to 26. So, convenient new feature being added for power users, and it is directly related to audio and the things we do. So, in 26, changing your audio device has been a pain in the ass on iPads for generations, for decades, for years, since basically they allowed for USB audio interfaces. Thank goodness that they do. But 26.4 is adding has hidden windows, show all features, a bunch of other things. But look at all these ads, my goodness. But the one thing that I think is going to be super cool that we're seeing in the beta version is the ability to quickly just jump in and switch between audio devices. So if, like me, you use GarageBand, you use Logic Pro, and sometimes you got Bluetooth headphones plugged in, sometimes you're using the built-in speaker, and sometimes you plug in USB, yeah, it can be a pain. And especially if, like me, you use an HDMI adapter, sometimes it just randomly grabs that as the audio. And it's like, when am I going to want to output my iPad? Well, maybe if I was watching a TV show or something and I was mirroring my iPad to my screen and wanted to use the HDMI audio. But in the studio, HDMI audio is not the thing that I want. So that'll be a handy thing to do. So it's anything that improves the world, the Apple ecosystem is better. And let me tell you, iPadOS 26 can do with every improvement it can possibly get. Trust me on that one. Well, you don't have to trust me. You know it. You know it if you're an iPad user, that it ain't the best all the time. What else we got going on? So, interestingly, there's been rumors around the fact that the Apple the Mac Pro may not ever get another update in its history. Because why? Well, because the Mac Studio exists, and there's very little reason to go from a Studio up to a Pro unless you're like plugging in external graphics cards or you're doing very particular workflows. But interestingly, you used to be able to get 512 gigabytes of RAM in your Studio. Now you can't. So now, for whatever reason, you could only get 256. Now, this article is speculating that the reason for that is related to the Mac Pro coming out or being refreshed and getting the 512 and trying to make a difference, a gap between the Studio and the Mac Pro. I think it's just down to the cost of RAM. I think that even at $4,000 for an upgrade from 256 to 512 gigabytes of RAM, which, by the way, is ridiculous. I don't know what you could be doing to be using that. I've got 48 gigabytes of RAM in my Studio and have never hit a memory wall ever, doing everything that I do. And I don't push my stuff too far, but yeah, I've never hit a problem with memory. So I don't think 512 gigabytes of RAM is particularly required. But I think it really just is that it's probably the first chink in the armor that the 512 gig, the modules that make up 512 gigs, even though Apple do their own silicon, they would be becoming scarce. Because what are they putting in these big server farms to do AI stuff? Yeah, the maximum amount of RAM, the maximum SSDs, the maximum GPUs and CPUs. So weirdly, your high-end stuff, and this is where Apple's pretty smart at the moment. The iPad Air 4, M4, the new MacBook Neo, all these things are using lower end stuff. And that's not what the folks that are making the big server farms and the big AI companies want. They want the high end. So I actually think that the people that want the high end gear, your high end Macs, your high end iPads, that's where you're going to start seeing the prices go up and the availability go down. So it'll be interesting to go. Stock getting low with the new Mini and Studio coming out soon. Yeah, and that's the other thing. It could just be stock. That's often the case. That it's just a stock management kind of thing. Caffeine is the kerosene of life. Well, might be at the point, I don't know, petrol, gasoline here was $1.59 a litre 2 weeks ago. It was $2.19 a litre yesterday. So it has gone up by 60 cents, about 30% increase. And word is, it's going to keep going. All right, let's laugh at the Kennedy Center. Because I mentioned it last week, but every week there's another blow to the Kennedy Center, and this week it's no different. Because this week, the director of the National Symphony Orchestra quits to head to LA to become CEO of the Wallace. So we've already seen a lot of things. So what happens is as soon as it got renamed and as soon as someone else became the head of it arbitrarily, because of course they did, Ben Folds, he quit. He was the not the director, but he was like the patron of the orchestra, the National Symphony Orchestra there. And then now we've had the head of the orchestra leave. The place is basically just shut down. We've seen show after show, people refusing to play there. The awards are just a farce and a joke now. The only people getting awards there are people who play the game politically. And guess what? Musicians are just saying, nah, not having any of it. And it's funny, but also uplifting because it's one of the few areas where we're seeing companies and more importantly, individuals stand up and say, no, it's not okay. This is art. Art should be a free expression and it shouldn't be politicized. So good on you. Good on you to the director of the National Symphony Orchestra. There's a rumor because we haven't had enough. Yeah, we haven't had enough new gear. By the way, I kind of buried the lead, didn't I? Because I figured you've heard enough about the new Apple gear. I did a bunch of shows about the new MacBook Neo, the new iPhone 16e, the new iPad Air M5, and the new MacBooks Pro and Air. So if you want to find out about those, join the email list I said before. Jump on the mailing list and you'll get all the information there. But interestingly, Apple, the MacBook Ultra, with OLED touchscreen, won't replace MacBook Pro, is said to be more expensive. Every time I read something like this, every time I read a headline that's like, oh, Apple are working on the ultimate MacBook, it's going to have a touchscreen, it's going to have an ultra processor in there, it's going to be $10,000. I just think no. And the reason I think no to these sort of rumors is Apple are doing really well at the moment by having something in every market. If they had that all-in-one device that did everything, and you could ditch your iPad and your Mac and just have one device to rule them all, they would have done it by now. There's no technological reason why they can't put out an M something touchscreen iPad slash MacBook hybrid. It's 100% possible. It's basically what the iPad Pro with the Magic Keyboard is. It's a laptop, isn't it? The only difference is that it doesn't have the ports. You live the one port life, so it's dongle city, and it doesn't run Mac OS. And now they've got the MacBook Neo, which does, but doesn't have the touchscreen. I don't think the two will ever intersect because Apple do too well by just having the two separate things. The only thing I could think is if the education sector demands it. So that's sort of the one area because that's the limitation. Everyone's saying, oh, companies like schools and universities and colleges are just going to bring in giant wads of MacBook Neos now. And the problem is that the kids are used to Chromebooks, the kids are used to Windows, and they're used to touchscreens now. My kids come in here, and when they start using my Macs, and even my wife, because she's got a touchscreen Windows PC for her work, they just start tapping and trying to scroll the screen. And I'm like, oh, get your greasy fingers off my MacBook screen. And they're like, why doesn't it scroll? And that's the thing. It's going to be the next generation. So maybe when Tim Cook moves on and maybe when we got new CEOs and new heads of and leaders and developers, maybe then. So what, 10 years? We shall see. Yeah, the proof will be in the pudding. If you're just joining us here, we're doing the news and notes section. We are answering any questions you have. So if you've got a question about anything, life, the universe, and everything, put a Q in front of your comment and leave me a question here. Apple should have invested more. They should have. Remember, you might be too young, Thomas, but some of us would remember Apple IIs and Apple IIes and Apple the Macs. The what were they? Not the 2Es. They were the LCs. So all the early Apple and early Apple Macs, they were all over schools. So there was either Commodore 60. At our schools there were Commodore 64s in one room, and there were Macs in the other. And yeah, look, later on in high school, PCs started becoming more prevalent. Once Windows 3.1 and then Windows 95 were out, but early on it was Mac, and they even had that. They had this promotion. It was like an Apple for a school or something. And you like when you went shopping, you'd collect these sort of tokens, and they were apples, and then you could, because it was related to the supermarkets. Did you have that in other places? So yeah, they owned education until they didn't. And then now they're kind of like, oh no, it's not the education device, it's the extra device you also have for home. A few years ago, I had a laptop that you could use as a tablet. It can be done. Yeah, it's 100% possible. Yeah, apples for students. That's right. It was like apples, because it was like, yeah, forget apples for the teachers. It's apples for the students. And it was a real thing. The white MacBooks went through schools pretty quickly. More Catholic schools than government ones in Australia. Yeah, you're right. You can tell the difference between a private or a Catholic school. Here, by the way, in Australia, we have private schools, which are sort of non-denominational, but a lot of our big, expensive private schools are Catholic schools, or they're Lutheran schools. They're religious schools, basically. Saint somethings. And yeah, you can always tell the kids that go to those schools because they're the ones that pull out the MacBooks. And then the government kids have their like $300 plastic Chromebooks that they pull out. Bringing Apple to your teacher meant something different, didn't it? Yeah, it sure did. Sure did. So I just wanted to highlight this one. We're number 5, by the way, if you're playing along at home, and you're down in the description, and to tell future Pete where to put the timestamps, because number 5, Engadget have done a review of Apple's iPad Air with M4, and not surprisingly, they agree with me, which is why I like them. It's just still their best overall tablet. And there's a few caveats there, like around the screen and around connectivity. So if you want the Pete's overview, the elevator pitch for this, it is, if you have the means, which means the monies, buy a Pro. If you want the best bang for your buck, buy an Air. But if you are using any external storage with your iPad, or you plan to, you might want to get the Pro, because the Air doesn't have a Thunderbolt port. It's got a USB-C port. So if you're using external SSDs, it's basically Pro or no. But that's really the only caveat. Everything else that the Pro can do, the Air can do. The screen, does it look as great as it have the Pro Motion and all the smooth stuff? No. And does it have 3 cameras on the back that you'll never use? No. But the Air is, and probably always will be, the sweet spot when it comes to music production, video production, all the stuff you're doing, because it's running the same chips now, people. And it's not even a MacBook Pro, MacBook Air situation, because there is no Pro chip. That's the thing. The iPad Pro is running the exact same chip. It's just the M5 versus the M4 now. It's always just last year's chip. So an M4 iPad Pro and an M4 iPad Air will be running virtually the same. 12 gigabytes versus 16 gigabytes of RAM. That's the only difference as well. So you will be absolutely fine with the Air if you would like to use it. Went to Catholic school. Definitely played a lot of Oregon Trail and Piccadilly Pear on Apple II. Oregon Trail, old school. Oh, you have all died of dysentery. It's what everyone remembers, isn't it? Like learning why do people keep dying of dysentery? What's dysentery? And then you'd go to the encyclopedia because, no Google, and you'd be like, diseases, oh, good Lord, that sounds horrendous. And then you'd find out what dysentery was, and then you would want to not know what dysentery was again. Oh, well, what's happening in the world of Australia's age verification? I know this is happening in the US, it's happening in the UK, it's happening everywhere at the moment, but proposed laws would require age checks for R-rated games and websites. So, look, this is the thing. I have come across this on a couple of websites already, and I don't want it. Like gaming websites and just informational websites. So I'm not even going into the deep, dark depths of the deep, dark web. In fact, ironically, the dark web probably won't have these restrictions. So, like most things where you try to ban something or you try to control something, it'll push people further underground. They're going deeper underground. So, what's the deal happening here? Look, having the requirement of giving a company my identification, it's just not happening. I just won't use the product or the service. I'm at that point now where I've had my information. Like I'm not even a privacy kind of freak. I get that my data is basically out there. My email address, my phone numbers. There's a lot of stuff out there. I get it. And if someone really desperately wants to get hold of your information, they can do it too. It's not through the obvious means. It's through data brokers. It's through legitimate companies that you've provided your driver's license, provided your passport copy to, that are leaking this stuff, that are going to the bad guys. So the less of those that have your details, just by definition, the less likely it is that you are going to have problems with getting hacked or getting your identity stolen. So if there's some website that I'm just like, oh, if I could just use, oh, what's that? You want my ID? I'll find another way. It's fine. I'll work around it. And it's just getting to the point where everybody wants your everything, and it's likewise. It's yeah, I don't know. I just think that that we need to sort of push back against this stuff. And I get it. Won't somebody please think of the children? I understand, and I know why these things are being done and proposed, but I can't help but think that it's going to have a bigger detrimental effect on, consenting adults just trying to, play a violent video game than it is going to protect the children, because the parents are there anyway. And if the parents have to provide the ID and they're the ones letting the kids do it behind their back, well, then the kids are just going to go to the parents and say, Dad, this thing needs your ID. And they'll be like, all right. Like, if they're not watching and if they're not caring, what makes people think that they're not going to just use their parents' credentials anyway? Anyway, I say all that to say, let's continue. AI is helping hackers break into social media accounts. Yeah. So this is the thing. Those phishing messages, and those those campaigns where they're trying to steal your stuff, they're getting better because they're learning by using AI. So if you think that AI does some weird sounding things, just think how much better you could get ChatGPT to write a phishing email. Like, those phishing emails, hi, this is your provider of telephony. You owe money, cash pay now. Please click link. And the link's like bit.ly/definitely not a scam. And you're like, I better check out this because my provider is reaching out to me. But now they look slick. I got one that was trying to pretend to be Australia Post recently, and I almost clicked the monkey because I was waiting on a delivery. And what does the normal Australia Post thing do? They send you a notification saying, here, your delivery tracking number. And this one was one of those ones that was like, your parcel was unable to be delivered. And I'm like, my parcel was unable to be delivered? What do you mean? And then I'm like, wait, Johns, wait. Okay, first thing you need to do, were you expecting a parcel? Yes, I was. Was it coming from Australia Post? Yes, it was. Is this message saying it's from Australia Post? Yes, it is. Do Australia Post usually send you a link that looks like that? No, not really. And do you have a front door camera that would have seen if someone attempted to deliver your parcel? Yes, I do. So, come on, big fella, you got this. It's a scam. Yes, it is. Congratulations. You win not being hacked. So, I say all that to say, AI is actually helping the bad guys as much as it's helping the good guys. It's helping them write better and more legible scam emails, phishing emails, and the rest. So be careful. Yeah, caffeine for 21 and over. That's what it'll be, won't it? It'll be one of those things, where they interpret things and they say that, drugs, like anything drug related you can't do. It's like, it's why it's a slippery slope with censorship, because they're like, anything sex related. There's a very big difference between sex, the SEXX on the internet, and sexuality and gender and finding out information that's going to help you stay safe. They're all important. Sexual education is important. You do not want to get an STI. You do not want to get pregnant if you are not planning to. You want to find out how this stuff works. So not having that information available and hiding that behind an 18+ wall is a real problem. And it's the same with this. Like, you go with drugs, and then it's like, does drugs include caffeine? Does drugs include tobacco? Does drugs include alcohol? And the answer to that is no, yes, maybe. It's really hard. Hello, Paper Pony Band. We have our first single of our second album coming soon. Nice. Yes, please. Everyone, please do that. Please do. Oh, you ordered the mug. Thank you. Yes. If you'd like to order a mug, if you want to be as cool as Dave Pops and order a mug, studiolivetoday.com/merch. And as this guy here, Thomas Christ, can attest to, they're good quality. I moved providers from the other one to Fourth Wall. I've still got a bunch of these ones from the other one, so I'm using the old ones because, you know, I'm not throwing them away to just only use the new one. But the new black mugs from Fourth Wall and the new like heavyweight cotton t-shirts from Fourth Wall, they're all really, really good. They're all cool indeed. We haven't talked about folk yet. We will folk you in just a minute. Sorry, that's the name of Thomas Christ's side project called Folk You, and it's always fun to say. Last news and note item here, number 8, Apple is teasing plans for its 50th anniversary. It's starting to hint at celebrations because the company was founded in 1976 by, of course, Steve Jobs, Steve Wozniak, and the always forgotten Ronald Wayne. So, yeah, observers expect possible special products, retrospectives, or events, and the milestone marks half a century of Apple innovation. So, yeah, Apple turning 50. What do you reckon? That's pretty cool. It's amazing that it's been a company that's gone through so many evolutions over that time, and probably some revolutions. Like, if you think back to the day where Apple were in such bad shape that Microsoft, Bill Gates, had to basically write a check to ensure that they remained in competition. How must Microsoft and Intel be looking back at that now? They're like, DOS and Windows and Intel, we're owning, and Microsoft, we are the big conglomerate, we're the monopoly. We'll get in trouble. Oh, yeah, we need to keep this competitor around, so let's bail them out and make sure that they can stay afloat. So they did, and then Apple survived, brought Steve Jobs back, and the rest, as they say, is history. Because Steve Jobs left Apple and went to a company called Next for a while and made like big fancy computers there that never really did much. They did in certain areas, and he worked on a lot of the stuff for like Disney, well, for Pixar at the time. He actually he was the main shareholder for Pixar. Like, yeah, he made some good investments and did some good things, our old mate Steve Jobs. I know, this just in, Steve Jobs did good stuff for computer world. Yes, of course, the iPhone, the iPod, the first iPad, which everyone took the piss out of until they didn't, until they realized that it was actually going to be quite revolutionary. And I was one of those people. I'm like, iPad sounds like a sanitary product. Ha, 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 ha. Oh, wait, it's rad. Damn it. It's the best thing ever. So, yeah, there's that. So that's your news and notes, and thank you for your attention. Yes, Next was it was way more speciality oriented. It wasn't your consumer stuff, which is why you've probably never heard of them and probably never used a Next workstation in your life. But if you, like me, you watch retro tech videos from like TechMoan and LGR, you've probably seen them checking out Next computers. Alexander says Steve Jobs bought Pixar from George Lucas for $10 million because he needed to pay for his divorce. Oh, wow. Da, 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 da. I've come to take your money. Please give me half. You're gonna have to re-release all of your movies on every format and take out the wub-wubs. See, I know some Star Wars stuff, and I didn't even call it Star Trek this time. All right, should we do some music? Perfect timing. We're 30 minutes in and we're ready to record some music. So let's give you the backstory of this one. We're going to record a folk song. It's a song that I wrote basically in a day, and it had lots of rude words in it. I've spent the last 24 hours reworking it so that it doesn't have rude words in it anymore. Will I then do a not safe for work version just for fun? Probably. And yes, my apologies to the folks who hung out in the YML after party, our members. If you're a member and you didn't catch the YML after party and you've always wanted to hear me say some very rude words, yeah, you can go and check that members only video there. Yes, the Glens. I think Joe Glenn is here. I might need to get Joe Glenn to sing on this song because it's so folky. So what have we got set up? We got guitar. We've got a guitar plugged in, my acoustic guitar, of course, because it's folk music. And we have a couple of microphones. I've got a dynamic here, and I got a condenser mic as well if I need for more, I don't know which way to go with this one. Being folk, it might need a condenser because it's a very quiet kind of song. It's called Hey Brett. I'll tell you the story of the song first, and then we'll dive into GarageBand and start recording it. I worked in a call center. I alluded to it earlier. Worked in a call center. I was a team leader in a call center, and in call centers, there's pretty strict culture around being on time. When you're managing a call center, you basically need to, about how many calls are going to come in at a certain time. You need to know how many bums on seats you need to answer those calls. So if people are rocking it late, it can have a big impact on that because the queues get bigger, and you know what it's like. As a consumer, you know what it's like when you call up. It's like, oh, we are experiencing a higher than usual volume of calls. That's usually BS. They knew exactly how many calls that they were going to get. They just don't have enough staff on to take all those calls. And so you are 412th in queue. You will be answered in approximately 4 hours. And it's annoying, right? So I was a team leader in a call center, and there was a guy called Brett, and Brett rocked up late. And I don't really remember the details. Was it the first time he was late? Was he late often? But from memory, it was like this one time he was like 5 minutes late. And I just said, hey, Brett, any reason why you're late? And he just looked daggers at me and was like, I've had no sleep. I blah, blah, blah. I was up all night. He just had a baby, right? And I'm like, oh, okay, yeah, no, get that. Just be cool if you could, send me a text, give me a call, just to let me know so that we can plan around it. That triggered him. He hated me for the rest of the time he worked there, and he didn't speak to me. He just came in, did his work, to his credit, but every time we tried to have a one-on-one, every time I tried to talk to him, got to the point where I had to get HR people in to say, this guy won't talk to me, and I'm trying to do my job. And he just would not respond. And it was a good learning experience for me that you don't know where people are at. And you could be talking to someone on the worst day of their life. And for Brett, it seemed like it probably was one of the worst days of his life. So I learned after that before you always ask how a person is before you tell them anything. It's the oldest trick in the book. It's the old compliment sandwich. It's like, hey, are you doing all right? You seem a little down today. By the way, you're late. You should have told me about that. But I'm glad you're here. Thanks for making the effort. Instead, I didn't. And the whole point was that we didn't get... When you're working in a place like that, the way it kind of worked is if you were really good at the job, you got to be the team leader of the team. And it doesn't work that way. If you haven't had the proper management training, and I'd had some, but not... I'd done some extracurricular. I had a diploma in business and marketing, but... Yeah, there's a very, very little, especially back in the sort of 90s and early 2000s, there was very little focus on the people management side. It was all about results. It was all about just get in there and do the thing and tick the box. And if you're really good at doing the job, well, surely you can lead a team of 15 people and make them really good at doing the job. It just doesn't work that way. It's why the best players on a sports team don't become the best coaches. Just ask Wayne Gretzky. It doesn't do it. Yes, the sandwich method, absolutely. So I say all that to say let's record some folk music. We're in GarageBand here, my comfort zone. I'm coming back to GarageBand for a little comfort zone. So we're going to fire this one up. We're going to jump in here to the audio recorder. And the first thing I do in GarageBand, because GarageBand doesn't let you save stuff in here, is I record nothing to A, check my audio, and to B, jump out and save the song, right? So we hit the button there. It's my song 3.band, but we don't want that. We want to tap and hold. And we want to rename it. And we want to call this Hey Brett. We got a name for it. And we're going to call it Hey Brett 01. so that we can use some version control. The other thing I'm going to do, actually, I'm going to create a new folder for this. So we're going to tap folder. We're going to call it Hey Brett, just so that we've got everything in one folder. It helps keep things tidy. We're going to drop the project into our Hey Brett folder and come back over to here. Now we're going to start setting up our project. So we're going to tap in the top right, and I'm going to, should we use sections for this one? I think I'll use sections. While we're writing this and recording this demo, I think I'm going to use sections. So we're going to go manual here. I'm going to go a two bars section at the start here. This is my lead in. Always have a lead in. All right, hit the plus button then, and I'll do it in like a 16 bar chunk. Because what we're going to do is, first of all, we're going to record some basic guide tracks here. So I always do guide tracks with my guitar because with folk music, I tend to find that is the easiest thing to do. And I'm also going to record in some drums. So we'll do that in a sec. But we'll build this up as we go. I have written, okay, all sections. I have written the song, and I've got the basic idea of the chord progression. So we're going to do a bit of a hybrid job here of doing it. I'll take you over, in fact. I'll just make sure I've removed all the bad words. Oh, by the way, here's a question for you. I've got the word dick in there. Do you think dick qualifies as explicit lyrics? So if I say that you were kind of a dick, but then again, so was I, do you think that that's acceptable? I'm not sure if in 2026, I know that you can't use the F, the C, the S, but the D. And the other thing I have is arse and a-hole. So I kind of tried to make it PG-13-ish as opposed to, M or R rated. Yeah. Why use GarageBand and not Logic? Well, the name of the show is GarageBand Weekly. And to be honest, I'll tell you why. For me, I'm more comfortable and confident and quicker, the k and k, in GarageBand than I am in Logic. So this project will probably go to Logic for mixing and mastering, because I think that's where Logic really does shine, and GarageBand's a lot more challenging for that. But I just feel it's my comfort animal. It's my spirit animal. It's like my comfort zone. It's my place to go because I can and plus I can use song sections. I actually find that arranging a song is easier in GarageBand because you can use song sections. You don't have song sections in Logic Pro, which is weird. And even when you transfer it from GarageBand over to Logic Pro, it doesn't actually keep those song sections. It's a little bit bizarre, isn't it? Hello, Coldacre. Knob? Could go with knob. That's actually good. I like that. You reckon Dick's okay? All right. Hello, Paws and Guitars too. Hello, Coldacre. Hope you're all doing well. Let's pick up the guitar and let's get some recordings. Let's get some recordings done. So I'm going to tune the guitar just roughly. Again, the thing is, when you're recording a demo and you're doing guide tracks, just do them the best you can. Like you could say, it really doesn't matter if it's in tune or not when it's just a guide track. But what I tend to do with guide tracks is sometimes just keep them, or sometimes use them as like a second or third, as a double or triple track, just to give it a bit more beef. And I would like to actually use a microphone eventually on this track. Now, we need to add a new track because we need to select. So this is why I find this GarageBand just so easy. Because when I want to record a guitar, I go audio recorder, instrument, and it's just got the nice room already set there. Now, I'm on channel 1, which is my microphone over here. We don't want that one. We want channel 2, which is going to be my guitar. And we want to monitor it. Shall I record in DADGAD? No, that would be weird. Although I could, because it is in D, I could do some secondary guitars in DADGAD, which would be fun. or I could do the, what do they call it? Like, not gypsy tuning, something else where you put a capo on and then play it like in a different key. You transpose it to a different key. But for this one, we're in E flat, D sharp, because and this is where if I want to add extra instrumentation, Logic Pro will be much better and easier for this as well. So let's set our key signature. We're not in C major. We are in E flat or D sharp, depending on what you want to call it, and it's major. So we're going to start with the progression, which is going to be our opener. Hey Brett, sorry that I was a dick. Didn't know what you were dealing of. I was back in my 20s. Didn't have any kids of my own. No, it's not quite that. Alright, I'm going to go from the B flat minor. There you go. Now we got all the da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. Is that how you say that one? Drop both E's to a D. I want a reverse capo so I can play lower. I know. Isn't that like one of those guitars that's like a C that has like a low C string on it or something? I don't know. D, 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 D. Just record everything to D, D, to D. So it's just D, 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 D. Aren't they like, isn't that how harps work or something? I'm probably making that up. All right, so the first thing I'm going to do here is get the rhythm right. Now, this is something that's fun that you can do with GarageBand. You can do it with Logic Pro as well, of course. You can follow it along with drums. But what I like to do here is start with an acoustic drum. And the first thing I do is turn off the sensitivity. So no sensitivity. And play in the beat that I want here. So we'll just come here and we'll hit record. All right, we probably don't even need all that. We'll just use 4 bars of it and loop it out. Now, why am I doing this? Well, this is just going to be my drum guide track, so I can tell the drummer to do something a bit more fancy. So we're now going to go back to my track view by tapping the top there. We're going to go plus. We're going to add a drummer. And we're going to tell the drummer to follow my very basic bit there. We'll just delete out all of the bits there, create. And we don't want Des doing his percussion. Oh, maybe we do want some percussion. We'll go with a basic. Should we go with Kyle? No, we'll go with some songwriter. I reckon, not brush. Maybe just, well, is there a folk? Is indie rock? No. Indie disco? No. So there's no folk drummer, really. It's probably closest is Logan with his retro rock, but we'll go with maybe the pop songwriter. Go with old mate Darcy, and we'll delete out. I'm using the magic keyboard here, but if you need to delete in GarageBand, just tap and delete there. And we'll see what Darcy does with this. And I prefer this, so I turn off the metronome early as possible. Yeah, maybe Kyle or Mason. We'll experiment here. So what I want to do with Darcy, I want her to follow. So follow, and you want to follow the SoCal kit here. Anders for yeah, folk pop, exactly. And now I'm going to reduce the complexity. Not that much. And turn off the fills. So this is how you can, because if you try to use a metronome or you just use a stock drummer, it won't give you the feel that you want, and therefore you won't like sort of play in the zone. So because this one I want it to be. So, and I'm feeling that it's actually not fast enough. So we're going to come in here. So it's going to be more like 1. Hey, Brett. Da, 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 da. I reckon it's going to be about 116. Maybe even 118. I always go too slow, and you want a song like this to move. Even though it's folk music, you want it to move along a bit. So let's try this. Let's just record in. And I'm not sure whether I should, yeah, we'll do an intro for now. But maybe it's just a sort of song that just goes straight into itself. We'll see. All right, so let's fire up we only need the one guitar. And by the way, I'll get this question in the comments if I don't mention it here. Why do I get my tracks up here as well as this down here? It's because I'm using a 13-inch iPad. If you're using an 11, a 10, or a 9-inch iPad, or an iPad mini, you're not going to see this section. You're just going to see just this guitar bit. But I'm going to show you a workaround for that a little later in the video if you're watching along at home. Hello, Philly Cheese. Good to see you, mate. All right, so we're going to go back to the start here. Let it do its lead in. What? Oh, you know what I'm going to need? I'm going to need, don't put your pick in your mouth, people. Bad idea. I'm going to need to put a little Darcy in there as well. So we'll do that, and we'll split it. Otherwise, it goes off the beat. So let Darcy do a little 2 bars of lead in here, and then we'll record in our guitar part. All right, so that's what we're going with. Let's just listen. All right, and that's our intro. And this is a good way to sort of start building out this guide track. And again, it won't sound perfect because I'll be doing it in chunks here, but this helps with the original initial setup. So we now know that the first 8 bars is our intro. So we've got our lead in and our intro. So we've got section A, lead in, section B, intro. At this point in time, what I like to do is note this down over on my songwriting page. So if we come over to here, we can build it as we go. So what I'll do with this is we'll go lead in, and that's going to be 2 bars, intro 8 bars. And then I name them down here. So the intro is going to be 2 of them. I could just copy and paste that. 2 of them. And you don't have to do this. I don't do this religiously with every song that I do, but it can definitely help. So I know that my intro is that. And then we're going to go verse 1. And this way you keep things the same. I'll put some dashes there because we're going to start using numbers. Lead in 2 bars. And then we will record in our first verse. So we jump over to here. Wrong one. There we go. Jump over to here and we'll add. So we'll add another section. And I think it's going to be 8 bars, but I'm not sure. So let's take it 16. We can always change it after. 16 bars. And come back to here. View all sections just because I like to view everything here. And we'll record in the bit. I'll kind of sing the lyrics along just because I want to remember how much I need before I go to the next section. So let's hit record. Boom, boom, boom. Hey, Brett. Got to turn my turn my drums back on. I turned Darcy off, but I need Darcy to record too. Hey, Brett. I was an asshole. Didn't know what you were dealing with. I was back in my 20s. I didn't have any kids of my own, but it is an 8 bar section. Or is it? With my heart, kids of my heart, but gotta admit, you were kind of a dick, but so was I. Hey, Brett. I'm sorry now. I might do it all in one because that whole bit is. It might be the sort of song that doesn't have a chorus per se. Maybe let's just extend this one out. I'll just make this 32 bars, and I'll play that whole bit. So I'll play it from here, where it's "But you gotta admit," and I'm also gonna. The reason I'm trimming all these for this guide track is otherwise it'll create takes, and I really don't like takes in GarageBand. In Logic Pro, they work better now, but not. But you gotta admit, you're kind of a dick. So we're going B flat minor to E for these bits. So we'll hit record. But you gotta admit, you were kind of a dick, but so was I. Hey, Brett, I'm sorry now. All right, that's the thing. So that's probably a verse and a chorus, but just for convenience sake, I'm just going to call that. So what are we? 16 bars. I'm going to call that verse 1. All right. So it is only 16 bars. Yeah, share your techniques because you won't do it the same way as I do. But the reason I do these sort of showing you my process things is you might go, I've never thought of doing it that way. So I would love to hear your, I've never heard of doing it. There you are. You're setting a trend for no chorus from your song from yesterday. Absolutely. How do we do? Old school, pen and paper, even writing cursive, right? Is the input monitoring and the freeze button mappable? If you can check visually later. Freeze button, input monitoring and freeze button map. Oh, in Logic Pro. Yeah, not sure. Hang on, I'll tag that question. I'll come back to that later when we're not doing this. Can't keep in time with a metronome. Something's wrong with me. Yeah, like simple drum. Just add drums, exactly. Leela usually writes lyrics with pen and paper. It's a trigger to creativity to have a notebook and pen. Yeah. And look, I actually wrote this song by just singing it. So I'm an auditory learner and an auditory creator, not surprisingly, because I do lots of stuff with audio. But yeah. Hello, Jay Hines, by the way. Good to see you, my friend. Hello to Sean Chandler. I'm also fighting using iPad for music for live gigs. Yeah, look, it works until it doesn't. I even write in cussing sometimes. Nice. You know what I think is going to be good for live musicians? I only thought about this the other day. Using MainStage on a MacBook Neo. The MacBook Neo is going to be an epic because MainStage doesn't need a whole lot in the way of processor and RAM. But if you just want to have backing tracks and use MainStage for playing instruments and stuff live, that'd be super cool. Small, lightweight, just running Mac and running Mac GarageBand on Mac and running MainStage. Especially got the Creator Studio. I reckon it'd be gold. Because, yeah, iPad's the dream, but it is challenging. All right, let's go to the end here. Bloody GarageBand. One thing it doesn't do is let you, easily go to the very end. Why don't you do it? Oh, gosh. There we go. Oh, now I can't add my section. Oh, and now we've gone to windowed mode. Oh, man. This is the first time I've really properly used GarageBand in iPadOS 26. It's a bit of a pain. Look at this. How bad is that? This is why people get stuck. I'm on 8 bars. How do I make more? It hides the ability to add extra bars when your cursor's at the end. Stupid. All right, let's add another 16-bar section and do our second verse. Ready to rock with our second verse. We'll show all sections. All right. So the second verse does basically the same thing, but I'll check on some variations for this. So it goes back to the "Hey Brett." Oh, you know what I haven't done? I haven't updated my I've done the opposite of what I said that I like to do. So verse 1 is going to be 16 bars. This is going to be yep. Hey Brett. Sorry that I all right. So it's that. And that's not D and A7, it's G. No, it's not. It's B flat minor. B flat minor to E. And then B flat minor to E. Not major, minor to E. And then that's where it goes D to the A7. All right. And then the second time around, it does basically the same thing. So this is going to be our verse 2. Verse 2 and potentially chorus. All right, we're caught up. Verse 2 will probably be another 16 bars. And again, you do not have to do exactly as I do. If you want to be a bit more like loosey-goosey freeform, you can. But I tend to like to get the basics down so then I can get all loosey-goosey freeformy later. All right, so let's do the second bit here, which will start here. And then it's all right. So I don't know what we call this next bit. It's the chorus or is it the bridge? I don't know. We'll work it out as we go along. But we'll add another section. Make it 16 bars. By the way, just to give you some tips as we go along here, anytime you see something like this in iOS in general and macOS, iPadOS, but you can always tap and drag up or drag down. And it's the same if you're using your finger. You can just tap and drag up or drag down. Because sometimes if you want to go for like, you want to get like 800 bars, you can do that by just tapping and dragging up and down whenever you see one of these little ones like this. So just a tip for young players. And it's the same, Logic Pro has similar sorts of things. So let's go all sections. All right, so this is where we're doing our sort of changing up the rhythm to. All right, let's record it. I was off the beat to start there. I think I'm going to turn these drums up here because I'm playing a bit loud. And we need to hear what Darcy's doing. What you doing, Darcy, dude? And you'll notice that Darcy, it's automatically just created more Darcys every time. I think they've still got their fills on, but that's okay. I'll deal with it for now. But that's the good part about building a track like this. The drums get added in the same section as the section you're recording, if that makes sense. So it'll stay on the groove and on the beat and won't do like a fill in the wrong spot, etc. So let's try this again. So that section is only going to be a 8-bar little run. Do we call that the chorus or should I call it bridge? What do you reckon? Vote. Let me know. It's more like a change up. It's more like a bridge than a chorus. Solrak says a bridge. I think it's a bridge. If you think it's a chorus, let me know. Let me know. But actually, it's more than 8 bars, isn't it? What's it go? It goes from 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, because it's got that 2-bar sort of turnaround there. So it's actually going to be 10 bars, which makes sense when you think about it because it's doing that 2 bars to just hang there. And as you know, with my songwriting, I love that. I love it where, like when we get some instrumentation going on here, I love that. Just chill. So. All right, and then we go back. So let's update this over on our screen before we continue. So this is going to be bridge 1, and that's going to be 10 bars. And our bridge 1 down here is bridge 1. And this is going to be the B flat minor down to the F sharp major. Up to the G. And then down to the E for those. And then the end, we're going to go E. No, it's not. It's going to go G. And then up to an A7, but using the bar chord version of the A7 bar chord. Oh, missed my bracket. All right. And then we go back. Then we go back to this, which is going to be verse 3. Back to your hey Bretts. And basically the hook in this one is it doesn't really need a chorus hook, because the hook, the bit that I'm waking up singing to myself, is hey Brett. All right. Yeah, because it'll come back to the bridge again. There'll be a second bridge, which will do the same thing. How much does everyone know about theory and stuff? I know too much to have excuses and not enough to be good. 100%. I'm the same. Exact same, Leela. I know just enough to get myself in trouble. That's the way I kind of look at it. But I've said this before. My piano teacher, her favourite thing to say, well, I don't know if it's a favourite thing to say, but the thing she said to me all the time is I'd go there and she'd be like, she'd look at my book and she'd look at how much I practiced, and it was, Peter, you haven't done your theory. And she was this like older Indian lady, and it was, theory. Peter, you haven't done your theory. And I'm like, so I just had her voice echoing in my head every week, like, Peter, you haven't done your theory. And I'm like, no, I really haven't. And she's like, you'll never grow up to do anything with music. If you want, you'll never be a professional musician. You'll never do it on YouTube. I don't know how she knew YouTube would be a thing, but she did. Am I playing B flat minor or B minor? Thank you. It's B. Oh, it's B minor. It is B minor. There you go. I was just talking about that, just talking about not knowing my theory, and you are spot on. None of these are B flat. These are all B. I was wondering about that, because I'm like, if I'm in D major, playing a B flat minor would make no sense. So let's fix all these. Well spotted. I mean, I deliberately did that because no, I just completely messed that one up. But that's good. Good spotting. The thing is, I just interpreted it into my head as the right chord, but it 100% wasn't. All right, so let's go back in here and record our third verse little set here. Record. And now we've got the big climactic. Oh, was that still recording? How did it keep going? It was like trying to record past the maximum that I had there. That was weird. All right, well, add in here. And now we're going to do another 10 bars because we're getting bridge 2. Bridge 2 is under construction. Hello, right in the pocket. Thank you, Bear. Yeah, look, it's GarageBand's. That's the other thing I've noticed. And Jerry Gomes, who was here earlier, was mentioning this. I think GarageBand has lower latency than Logic Pro sometimes and has less bugs and errors. Like when I'm at this point, by the way, save. Oh my goodness. I was about to have to tell myself off because with GarageBand, there ain't no auto save. So you got to keep saving your projects. But yes, hope you're doing well at Bear. All right, so. All right, let's go. Did that record? It's doing weird stuff here. because I want to. I thought the last bridge we did was 10 bars. Maybe I cut it off too soon. Yeah, that's too long. So what should this be? Let's just sing it. Yeah, that's one less. So it's E's got to be one less. That was my problem. E's got to be 9 bars. And again, we should be able to just do 9 bars there, and it should just cut the end of E off. Yeah. 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. So, right, there we go. That means that this one will need the same thing. Or maybe we want to make it extra on this last one. So let's delete that and let's just do it again. We'll leave it at the 10 bars and see. We might want to give it one more bar here at the end. Just bear with me a moment. I was not in Do Not Disturb. And I don't need... My wife is around. She can handle the Do Not Disturb. The messages from my daughter. Let's come back over. All right. So let's record this in again. Yeah, so it definitely just needs to be 9 again, because then it's got to kick back in. And again, we'll change this as it goes. Now, who was it that said key change? Do we go with an 80? Do we go with a folk style key change here? And how would we do that? Oh, it could work actually, because then it would go, it'd go into E. So, hey Brett, sorry that I was a girl. What do we think? Key change? Should we try the key change or no? Move it up to the E, you reckon? You know what? Look, yeah, they're all key changes are all the rage now, aren't they? Dave Bobs knows. Why not? I don't think I've put a key change in a song in about 5 years because I just find it challenging. But let's do it. Let's freaking do it, because why not? Final verse key change. It'll add some variety to it, won't it? Now I'm gonna come out and remember all the different chords. Hang on, why does that keep coming in? Oh, because yeah, I know why. Key change good. I'll just come back over here. Sorry, my family gets bypassed by Do Not Disturb, which I need. You can't. This is the thing. I can't find a way unless I log my laptop, my iPad that I'm using here into... Actually, you know what I should actually do? I never use iMessage on this iPad. I should just disable it. That's a smart thing. All right, I'm going to do that. What am I doing? Yeah. All right, back over to here, right? Whoop. Okay, so we've got there the bridge 1, and then that nice verse 3, which is 16. Bridge 2 is another 10, and then is this verse 4? Do I have 4 verses? 4 verses and a key change? That's insanity. All right, so bridge 1, verse 3. So that's bridge. I'll put the chords in after. Bridge 2, just while I'm on a roll here, I need this. So this is verse 4. And this is going to be bridge 3. I'm going to have to do a bridge in the new key as well. Holy dollybee. All right, so this is where we need to change things up. So if it's B minor. So it's D to B minor to G to A7 become. I get to play a B7. I get to play my favorite chord. Oh, sorry, exciting things. So this is going to transpose up to E to a C. Now this time it will be a C sharp major, won't it? B major goes to C sharp major. And then A, and then B7. Easy, easy. And by the way, these are all semitoned down, clearly, because reasons. All right. And then what does this one become? So the bridge, which is... That becomes... That's less than ideal, but because it's bar chords anyway, it'll be fine. I can just shift it all up here. So this becomes, again, C sharp minor. So shift minor down to G sharp major. Don't need to put major there, do I? That's A, obviously. A, F sharp. Yay! I sort of know theory-ish. Is it D flat minor? Yeah, you're right. It would be D flat minor in the key that it would be. I'm going to leave it. I know it's wrong. I'm going to leave it as C sharp minor because my brain doesn't think of going down because I never play a D minor up there. So I'm going to call it C sharp. Against theory expectations. So where did we get to here? So we did G here, which was the... All right, so we're at the point of the key change. Wish me luck, folks. Wish me luck. Let's jump back over to the pad of I. Nope. And... All right, so we're playing this in E. Okay, I need to find a way to stop getting dings and stop it. Oh. All right, I'm going to play off the screen for a moment here while my messages. If I'm on Do Not Disturb and it's still disturbing, how do I turn off iMessage altogether? Notifications, that's what I can do. Oh, but you're getting a lesson here in this. So notifications, messages, notifications. Where are they? FaceTime, no, messages. Here we go. Notifications. Don't allow notifications. Okay. Critical alerts. All right, you can have critical alerts. No, I don't even need them. Turn off all notifications on messages. All right, there you go. So if you wanted to do this, if you're playing along at home, come here into your pad of I and go into your notifications and then scroll down to messages or whatever you want to turn off that's bugging you and just turn off all notifications. It's very weird. I don't know why I hadn't done that way before time. I get notifications on my iPhone anyway, and I don't ever need them on the iPad. All right, let's try this again with the record. All right, so that's the final bridge. I don't quite know how I'm going to finish it off, but I'm going to add some extra space here just in case. So now that I got this, what we're going to actually do is I'm going to sing along to it to see if the voice. So we'll pop the guitar down for a jiffy. Oh, pop the guitar down for a minute, and we'll dive in here and we will check this out. All right. Okay. Microphone air. We'll go with the dynamic microphone to start with. And what I'm going to do, I don't even know if I need, I'll turn the drums down. I won't need a whole lot of them. And I've already got my lead vocals set up at the top here. Check. 1, 2. Let's turn on monitoring. Ba, ba, ba. Finish on the 7th. Yeah, I think so. We'll just go with, don't want overdrive, probably just radio ready for this one. Don't want any pitch control on. Never record with pitch control on. It adds latency. It's got a process and it's got to work out the pitch. If you have that while you're recording, it will add latency and you will not be in the wheelhouse. Check. Ba, 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 ba. Hey, Brett. Ba, da, 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 da. And I like to generally record with a little bit of reverb. And we'll go with, we need a small reverb, so probably just like the club reverb for this one. Hey, Brett. Ba, ba. Bit more of it. Ba, 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 ba. All right. So what I'm going to do is mute out this mic, and you should be able to just hear me on this one now as we record. And I've got my lyrics up over here. Wish me luck, everybody. Let's see if this structure is going to work. So we've got our intro, and then we'll dive into it. So it'll start here. All right. I'll show you that trick. Hang on. I'll come back over here for a minute. So I don't want any of this business clouding me here. So I'm going to use the dummy track method. What's the dummy track method, Pete? Well, I'm glad you asked. What I'm going to do is create a second guitar track here that I'm going to record to, but I'm going to record nothing to it. The reason for that is I want to be able to see this view and record without having all that crap in the way. So what we need to do is actually go to your settings and turn on multi-track recording by coming down here and going multi-track. That's interesting. Look at that bug. iPadOS 26. You're a champion. I've got 2 pointers now, and they're in different spots. Which one's the actual one? The red one's the actual one. The other one's just along for the ride. Oh, Apple, you're so wacky. All right. So what we're going to do is we're actually going to record on both of these tracks. I only want to monitor my vocal. And then this is just a dummy track. This one's not required. All right. The other one went away. Bye. Oh, I kind of like this little friend. It's like, remember, did anyone play Sonic and Knuckles? Like where you'd have Sonic and then Knuckles, or there was another in Mario had a similar thing, wasn't there? Where you'd have this thing that would follow you along. Yeah, nice. All righty. Save it. And you know what? Before we make a major change, let's duplicate this. So you can see here we've got. Oh no, I forgot that I wasn't manually naming these. So we'll actually won't call it Hey Brett 012 because that's going to be weird. Hey Brett 2. Okay, let's do it. Let's record this vocal part. My pointer and his border separate. I know. Oh, all right. I'm over here now. Probably like a lead guitar bit to start there for the intro. Hey Brett, I was an asshole. Didn't know what you were dealing with. I was back in my 20s. I didn't have any kids of my own, but you gotta admit that you were kind of a dick, but so was I. Hey Brett, I'm sorry now. Hey Brett, I was a jerk. I don't know what to do. You rocked up late for work. I didn't know what you were going through, and now I really do know, because I've been there too. So, hey Brett, I'm sorry now. The thing about people in management positions is we never get trained to know what's going on with people who have babies, and that you lose your freaking mind. So, hey Brett, sorry that I was an ass. Didn't mean to make you feel sad. Hey Brett, you told me that in your review, and now I'm sorry to you, 'cause I didn't really. Oh, there you go. So that's a weird half a verse. Okay, so this verse doesn't have the extra bit. That's why it's a lot shorter. It doesn't have the D, A7, D. It goes straight into bridge 2. So I need to work out where it ends. And this is, again, why your sections are so handy, because we'll come back to here. Hey, Brett, sorry that I was an ass. Didn't mean to make you feel sad. Hey, Brett, you told me that in your review. And now I'm sorry to you, 'cause I didn't really. So that's where it goes to. So we don't need any of that business. So this is only going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That's only going to be an 8 bar instead of a 16 bar because it's a halvey. So we can halve section F. F can become F off and become 8 bars instead. This is why doing all this to start with is so much better, because now. All right, so I'm going to do it from the Hey Brett there. Hey Brett. So I'm going to do it from So Hey Brett back here. All right, grab my mic again. Turn this one off. Back over here. So, hey Brett, sorry that I was an ass. I didn't mean to make you feel sad. Hey Brett, you told me that in your review. Now I'm sorry to you, 'cause I didn't realize that when you had children it made you feel quite bad. and that you didn't get any sleep and then broke up. I think I've ruined all this. I'm going to have to go back because I've in the original version of it, it kind of came together better. I'm just going to undo that and undo that section change. Oh, I undid way too much. Tap and hold redo recording. Okay, so this has got the whole section there. Where are we on time? We're like heading towards an hour and a half. So I wanted to try and get a version of this all sorted by now. I'm going to very carefully go to my voice memo here and see if I can find the spot. I won't show this on the screen, and I'll try and make sure there's none of the swear words in here. And so, hey Brett, I'm sorry that I was a different word. And so that was the lose your mind. Is that where we were up to? Yeah, so this is the one we're looking at here. So I'm just gonna scroll through past the bad words, hopefully. And now I'm sorry to you, 'cause I didn't realize that when you had a baby, it made you feel quite bad. Okay. So is this a different chord progression than we've used before? This is G, A, F sharp, G. So this different. Maybe it's a whole different section that I G. Yeah. All right. So let's come back to here and go with where we were up to. So, hey Brett, sorry that I wasn't asked. Didn't mean to make you feel sad. Hey Brett, you told me that in your review, and now I'm sorry to you, 'cause I didn't really. That's the messed up version. I've got to redo to get back to my other recording. Oh no, that's going to mess that up. I'll just redo it from the hey Brett again. Excuse my sneeze. Muted sneeze. All right, I kind of like this this different section, but I need to replay it. Obviously, basically need to replay the end. Although no, because we go to a different key, don't we? Okay, I'll definitely want the key change left in, but I need to re-record this part here because it's different than what it was before. So we'll grab the guitar and we will. Okay. Okay, so that's where it's going to go from there to there. We'll see if we've got enough room in here to play all this bit in. So this is from here. So, hey Brett. I gotta put my drums back up because now I can't hear them again. Welcome to songwriting, folks. Tain't glamorous, is it? No. I'm sorry. Hey, Brett. There you go. That's more like the section. Drop an octave in the vocals and change harmonies. Key change harmonies. Drop an octave on the vocals on the key change. Maybe, yeah. Well, that's the thing. We'll be workshopping this on the channel over the next little while. So this is obviously the song demo writing process. So this is going to be the verse that goes into there. I'll just sing along and then we'll work out what happens with the sections, hey? No, don't want to record on that one anymore. Take it off. There you go. That one, that one, that one. All right. Let's go back. You're either going to be really sick of hearing about Brett or you're going to be singing it in your head all day. Or probably both. All right. Let's try this again. So, hey Brett, I was a jerk. I didn't know what to do. You rocked up late for work. Didn't know what you were going through. And you know what? You're not going to believe this. I think it was the other way around. I think it was back the other way. You know what? I think I just go straight into this other bridge. Thing about so I think I'm going to go with it this way. And if I want to change it up next time, later I will. So, hey Brett, I was a jerk. I didn't know what to do. You rocked up late for work. No, I'm singing the wrong verse, aren't I? It's the arse. Yeah. I'm singing the wrong verse, which is why I messed it up. Try one more time. So, hey Brett, sorry that I was an ass. I didn't mean to make you feel sad. Hey Brett, you told me that in your review. Now I'm sorry to you, 'cause I didn't realize that when you have children, that you didn't realize that. Yeah. I think I've got it. Review. Now I'm sorry to you, 'cause I didn't realize that when you have children, it made you feel quite bad, and that they didn't get any sleep, and they're rocking up 5 minutes late to your calls and a job. It wasn't your fault. I'm sorry, Brett. And that's where we probably can't go straight into the key change. We probably need to just do a little dink, 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 dink beforehand. But let's find out. Let's just record in a little da 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 da. Okay. and then go into the big final bit. So really, we just need to take two bars off of G for now, and then I'll promise you we'll. Oh, that's a 7 section. Yeah, let's do it. I've kind of messed up this. I'm going to have to go back and rehash everything afterwards, but it's all just part of the fun. So this is going to... Oh, that's why, because I actually needed to get rid of one more bar. What happened there? Because it did that. Okay, one more bar from G. We'll just make G 6 bars. Oh, what's it removing? All right, I'm just going to move this for now and we'll fix the sections later. All right. 5 minutes late to your course and a job. It wasn't your fault. Sorry, Brett. See, this is what that's that thing I removed. So this is going to be. All right, let's see if I can actually sing that part. All right. So it wasn't your fault. Sorry, Brett. Oh, hey, Brett. Yeah, I'm gonna get towards the top of my range here, aren't I? That's all right. We'll be good. We'll be good. Okay, let's try this this vocal on this last bit, and then we'll try to bring it all together in the next 20 minutes. Okay. We're on the wrong track. Got to be up here. Got to take you off there and bring you onto there and there and there and there. We'll listen to this from here. Hey, Brett. Sorry that I was a jerk. I didn't know that what to do. Go through with that little baby at home. But now I know what to do. That's the actual problem with the place we were working. Okay, and then it does the second. Oh, it does the different second half again. Why do they write such a complicated freaking song? Okay, so. Hey, Brett, sorry that I was a jerk. I didn't know that what to do. Go through with that little baby at home. But now I know what to do. That's the actual problems. So yeah, now we need the second part of the verse bit here. Oh, GarageBand started to go, oh, you're messing with me here, Johns. I'm tapping things and it's like, oh, you're sure this is what you're doing? Alright, let's try and record this bit. But now I know what to do. That's the and then from there is the last little bit that we're going to play. I've just messed up all the sections here. I'm going to have to go back and redo it. Or just not bother because we're bringing it over into Logic Pro anyway. All right. And then a nice little... And play the wrong chords. No, that's not what we're doing. So, feeling better now. So, we're gonna need a slowdown at the end there, which GarageBand is not gonna like. I think I've worked out that this song is a lot more complicated than I thought it would be. Here I was thinking folk music should just be 3 chords, verse, chorus, verse, chorus, verse, and it's really not. So, what I am going to do is see if this flows through. I'm going to try and play the guitar. I'm going to re-record the guitar and see if I play. Oh, no, it wasn't your fault, Eric. It's actually rad. That whole tone up at the end, I think, is going to make this song. Because it's only going to be like 3.5-ish minutes song, 3.5. And I also think I might need to go slightly faster. So once we get in, I think it needs to be a bit peppier. But I'm going to not go to that level of complexity today. We're just going to try and get it down. So let's see if we can play with a new guitar track along with the original guitar. Hey, he's back. Guess who's back? Back again. But this time we'll need a dummy vocal track. So we'll duplicate that, bring our dummy track down next door, and just record our guitar here. So let's work through and see if I can actually record, because the guitar obviously in the guide track won't sort of flow through. But the key change is absolutely boss, for sure. Let's see if I can remember all these different chords. Let's try it. I'm over here now. Probably like a lead guitar bit to start there for the intro. Hey Brett, sorry that I was a jerk. Didn't know what you were going through. I knew I would miss that part. This is, I like this though. I like the change up. I like the variety. So we'll just come here. What chord do they? It's G, A, F sharp, B minor. Gotcha. Good, Johns. Good work, Johns. I went to the wrong one again. That's this one, isn't it? Yeah. All right, that's it. I missed those last two chords badly, didn't I? All right. It's hard doing these in this key. Oh, I cannot get this in this key. Yeah, and on the 7th. Oh my God. You know when there's just one beat you can't. F sharp. That's right. Then it's just the E to the B. The E to the B. I'm sorry now. Okay, I'm reasonably happy with the structure. It's completely different from what we did the first time, and we'll just come in here and adjust a couple of these to make sure that these crossovers work okay. Not bad. And what about the next one where I had to cut in here? Yep, not bad. And here. Bring. So then it's, yeah. E. Sorry, love. I need to redo that part because it's needs a stronger E chord there. And then you hit the wrong chord. It's going to be B7 now because someone made me change the key to E. I'm sorry now. No, it's going to be a straight E, not an E7 at the end there. All right. Hey, bird. I'm sorry now. All right. So, guitar track, pretty good. Move that forward so we actually hear that transient. Okay. Okay, so we've got a guide guitar track. Why don't I just try and sing the whole thing along to this so that in the next 10 minutes, I can leave this with a reasonably acceptable version. I'm actually going to switch up the mic. I'm going to go to the condenser mic to get more of an intimate kind of vocal sound. Now we might need to readjust the gain. Although it's probably actually more set for this one. Where's my lead vocal? Do that. Let's just create a brand new one. New vocal. So I think I will just use the lead vocal sound. Hey Brett. Just a little bit less on that vocal haul. And again, no pitch control. Never with the pitch control. All right, let's see if I can sing this song. I'm just going to play it with guitar. All right. All right. Oh, we go. Hey, Brett. Sorry that I was an ass. Messed it up already. Try it again. Good job, Johns. Now you get to listen to the intro again. Oh. Watch that cable. Hey, Brett. Sorry that I was an ass. I didn't know what you would do. I didn't. All right, won't make it listen to the intro again, but I'll fix this. Hey, Brett. Sorry that I was an ass. Didn't know what you were going through. I've lost the mojo. Hey, Brett. I was an asshole. I didn't know what you were dealing with. I was back in my 20s. I didn't have any kids of my own, but you gotta admit that you were kind of a dick, but so was I. Hey, Brett, I'm sorry now. Hey, Brett, I was a jerk. I didn't know what to do. You rocked up late for work. I didn't know what you were going through, and now I really do know, 'cause I've been there too. So, hey Brett, I'm sorry now. About people in management positions is we never get trained to know what's going on with people who have babies, and that you lose your freaking mind. So, hey Brett, sorry that I was an ass. Didn't mean to make you feel sad. Hey Brett, you told me that in your review. Now I'm sorry to you, 'cause I didn't realize that when you had children that it made you feel quite bad, and that you didn't get any sleep, and that rocking up 5 minutes late to your call center job, it wasn't your fault. I'm sorry, Brett. Sorry that I was a jerk. I didn't know what you were going through with that little baby at home. But now I know the truth, that the actual problem was the place we were working. They didn't give you adequate time off when you had a baby, and they didn't care that people are aren't machines. So, hey Brett, I hope you're doing better now. Oh, that was a wee bit rough, but we got there. It's coming together. It's not perfect by any stretch, but it's definitely coming together. Just workshopping that arrangement. The key change is freaking golden. Once you have like some bass in there and some extra acoustic guitars and stuff, I think it's gonna be rad. All right. Hey Brett, sorry that I was a jerk. I didn't know what you were going through. An idea. The part you sing, I didn't realize when you had your have the bass play exactly the same as the vocals. Yeah, that is a good idea. That is a good idea indeed. Now, 2 minutes of the input. If you can work around the exporting bug, which one, Eric? What's the bug that you're having? I'm spacing on it, mate. I don't recall. I don't recall talking about an export bug. Logic Pro or GarageBand or something. If you let me know, you've probably told me, and I probably should know, and I probably don't. So I apologize. And Solrak, yeah, I don't think so. I don't think you can map the input monitoring and freeze button. I had a look last week and there was nothing there. Let's have a quick look now. As in terms of MIDI mapping, you mean? MIDI mapping? Let's have a look. Logic Pro. We were playing with this last week, weren't we? So the freeze button. Now I can remember where MIDI learn is. There's my button. No. Sadly, it is not one of the buttons you can map. So if you didn't know, MIDI mapping you can do, but any of the outline ones you can map to a MIDI control. The non-outline ones you can't. And guess what? The freeze button is not mappable. So a little bit of a pain for you for that one. In 26.4 GarageBand. So there's an export issue, is there, in 26.4 in GarageBand? What am I running on this machine? Let me have a quick look. And I'll see. Where am I? I think I'm on 26.3. I don't think I'm on, unless it is 26.3 that you're referring to. Because, this one hasn't even been updated. 26.3.1 is downloaded, ready to install. So I'm on 26.3 at the moment. So I'm not actually on 26.4 beta. What about the input monitoring? No, I don't think so. Maybe it was. Hang on. Let's check input monitoring. Yes, input monitoring is. So the I button, your input monitoring is, your freeze tracks is not. So you can map, you can use Learn MIDI to map a MIDI button to there. Sorry, I'm on the wrong screen. So yeah, you can use your Learn MIDI and you can map your input, but you can't map your freeze track for whatever reason, which is weird. What were we doing? Yeah. So yeah, stay on 26. Okay. So is it specifically a 26.4 issue? That's a bugger. Yeah, I'm on 26.3.1. I was going to put my, you know what I'll do? I was actually going to put my other iPad Pro, my 2020 A12 processor. So weird to think that my old 2020 iPad Pro is an A12, and now they've got A19s in the latest models, which is so weird. Like, yeah, because they basically after that one, that was the last A series, and then it went off. So yeah, let's just do a quick. We'll do a quick export on this just to make sure this is still working. So we will come in here and we will send it. We will share it. Boop. And I'll just pop off the screen here for a sec, because when you say share song, I'm going to do uncompressed wave. It always brings up my little share sheet. You don't need to see the people that I've been messaging lately. Hit open in. Well, that's the other thing. Did you hit? Sometimes there's a bug if you get to the stage, make sure you always hit open in. So rather than try to save to files or export it straight away, hit open in when you're exporting and then either save to files from that screen or throw it into audio share. There used to be a bug that caused that problem, and that was the fix for it. Let's have a listen. GarageBand's lovely auto normalization. Oh man, my coffee. I forgot to drink it. After all that, keep it. Hey Brett, I was an asshole. I didn't know what you were dealing with. I was back in my 20s. I didn't have any kids of my own, but you gotta admit. Cool. Nice. So yeah, coming together. It's weird. Halfway through, I'm like, do I change the name of the person? I'm like putting this out publicly to say, but really it's an apology. So I can't see how it's a bad thing to do it. Hey, Mike, are you busy? All the sunshine's making me dizzy. No, that's it. All righty. Okay. Well, you know what it was? Yeah, those that were here yesterday, you know the word. If you're intrigued by the original lyrics or the not safe for work version of this song, yeah, become a member of the channel and watch yesterday's member stream before I get too embarrassed and unlist it. I don't know if I want a record of that out there. All right, that is going to do it. Again, if you learned nothing from this except that an hour and a half to get a simple demo like that down, because you want to take the care. At this point in time, I think this is an important part of the songwriting process. If you rush it now, you kind of get stuck with things that you're not going to be happier with long term, right? I heard that GarageBand export now supports highest quality without compressing from last year. It always has. It's always had full uncompressed wave, 44.1, 24-bit. And I think it said, one of the updates said 48, it now supports 48 kilohertz, 24.1-bit, 24-bit. I haven't found out how. Oh, thanks, Thomas. Yeah, there's yesterday's member stream in case you missed it. I haven't ever got it to work, so I don't know how you do 48 kilohertz, but apparently it's possible. The community pulse is live. Yeah, we've crossed over.
A whole bunch of people are.
There they are. There's Frank and the folks over there. It's Dana, Queen of Hearts, Begay, Folk Punk's on there, and Frankie Terzo. So I forgot about the fact that they don't change for daylight saving, but we don't change for daylight saving, but they of course do, being in North America. So we'll do a little bit of crossing over for that. That's right. You laugh at your own humor. If you don't, it's like your music. If you don't listen to your own music, then you're missing out. If you don't laugh at your own jokes, no one else will. That's going to do it, folks. Thanks for hanging out. Thanks for helping with the songwriting process. And yeah, again, if all you learned is that you're not alone with the songwriting process, it's long and can sometimes be a bit frustrating and tedious. But the end result is often worth it because you can create and record and release your best music. All right, I'll send you over to Frank Terzo's Community Pulse show if you'd like to go and check that out. And until next time, folks, be kind to yourselves, be kind to others, keep creating, and I'll see you next time. Bye for now.